privileged to be here this evening. I do not take it for granted. I want to also thank everyone that made it a date this evening, and I believe that we'll learn one or two things today, and I pray God would help us in Jesus' name. So I'm just
Amen.
going to share my screen briefly. I've put together a small um, slides. So I'm just going to try to work with that slide. I hope that's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Um, so first of all, we'll start by talking about some roles of digital tech in the future of the UK economy. So we want to streamline it to the UK economy. Um, so before I go ahead, I just want to understand the kind of audience I have on the call. If you are based in the UK, can you use a thumbs up or use an emoji just to indicate that you are based and resident in the UK? Okay, I can see two out of 11. Yeah, three, four. Okay, five. So almost half of the people on the call, six. Thank you. Are residents in the UK. If you're outside the UK, can you signify if you're a resident outside the UK? Maybe you are in Africa, somewhere in the world, or Antarctica, whichever place you find yourself. Okay, so I'm asking because um one of the doctor, you want to say something?
No, no, not at all.
Okay, great.
Uh,
All
uh,
right,
so,
so
so, sorry, someone is
yeah,
joining from Nigeria. That's you just commented.
yeah, I saw it. Thank you, sir. So I wanted to say that um, nobody is Father Christmas, and if we check it closely, we can even realize later on that the person we call Father Christmas doesn't really give those gifts for free. That is Santa Claus that we all know as Father Christmas. You discover that his giving of gift freely is because of an agenda. And I said that to buttress my point to say that UK is not just giving people visa for free. They are not just opening their doors because um, they love to open doors for immigrants, or I mean, they just want people in their country. They are also looking at some specific um, skills that can help improve their economy. And we're going to mention a few of those things um, this evening. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Please confirm you can see my screen. Awesome. So I wrote here. I said the 1 minute, please. Too many things on my screen, so I'm trying to. All right, so I said the UK economy, digital technology sector is a key driver to the economic growth, and it is set to play even more significant role in the future. The government has a strategic ambition to make the UK a science and technology superpower by 2030. And digital technology is at the heart of this vision, which is valid. So, one of the things that um, they would request if you are applying for the global talent visa or you want to come in to the UK based on your skills in digital technology, one of the key components or things they will ask is how will your skill add to the UK economy, or how will that impact the UK economy based on the vision they have, the vision 2030, which is by then they want to be the science and technology superpower in the world. And based on reports and some of the research, they have been able to highlight some few categories they are focusing on for the next few years till we get to 2030. And it would be wise for us to begin to um, position ourselves strategically in those industry or those key areas listed. Because aside we getting a lot of opportunities in those areas, funding are also going in that direction a lot. That's where the UK government is investing a whole lot of funds, and for us to also be well positioned enough to be able to get funding either by grants or by contracts, we have to position our business or ourselves in line with those key areas. So, what are the key technology trends and opportunities we can look at based on what the UK government is looking at? First is artificial intelligence. I mean, this cannot be overemphasized. That if you look at the UK budget or funds allocation that was released recently, you discover that they are investing a whole lot in artificial intelligence, and I believe this is not just the UK. Key countries are investing in it. For instance, China, they are investing heavily in artificial intelligence. And as people in technology, if we can position ourselves either by developing products or developing skills around artificial intelligence, then we'll be well positioned for the opportunities that the artificial intelligence offer, or the opportunity it brings to us. And also, I would like to say that when you're applying for your global talent visa, one of the people they give preference to are people in the field of artificial intelligence. While I was putting my um while I was putting my evidence together in 2022, 2023, I also did a bit of research. Even, I mean, those were some part of early days of the AI buzz. While I was applying, I also tied what I was doing around artificial intelligence. Maybe that was one of the reasons why they felt, okay, this is what we need, and um, let's approve this person to come into our country. So I'm going to advise strongly to leverage artificial intelligence. Because of time, I move to the next, which is quantum technology. Now, these are deep tech that nations that want to become superpower are really looking into. And if this is your own strength and it's your interest, I think it would be great for you to properly position around quantum technology. right now, when it comes to warfare, when it comes to military might, when it comes to space, when it comes to all of that, nations are investing heavily in that because, of course, there are wars everywhere. Recently, China reviewed their military might, and you can see some of the fighter jets and all of that. If this is your area of expertise, then you really need to position yourself. And then if you are leveraging this, aspect in your application for global talent, then you need to be very, very, you need to loud it. Let me just say that in your application because it will give you more marks or preference, right? So I'm trying to balance this between the realities of the UK and also in terms of our application for the global talent. Another aspect we need to look out for in terms of key technology trends is the fintech in the UK. Um, Before I go to the UK, I was thinking Nigeria is like one of the biggest fintech hubs in the world, but UK is also um, a big fintech hub across the world. Before we go to the UK, then they would say, Nigeria has the best fintech apps. When you send money, it's just at the tap of the finger, and anything. Until we go to the UK and you discover that in terms of security, in terms of speed, in terms of accuracy, UK beats a lot of people hands down. So if this is your area of strength and then you're coming from Nigeria, whichever where you're coming from, or you have that expertise while you were in your home country, it is best for you to also position yourself, within that space. Because in the next few years, fintech is also going to get to another key area, level in terms of money transfer. You can see countries like US are focusing on bitcoins and all of those, money. That might be the next phase of fintech. And if you're able to position yourself in this line, either with your application or with growing, your economic base in the UK is something worth looking at. The next is cybersecurity. That is another big deal. Before now, cybersecurity was big in the US in terms of whether earning power and all of that. But UK is beginning to take cybersecurity seriously now. You can see recently they've just been releasing a lot of regulations within the online space. They did that recently where you can't access some of these sites except you go through some form of verification and all that. They are taking it seriously, and cybersecurity is becoming big in the UK. And it would be great if our people, especially God's people, can position. Yeah, and one thing about cybersecurity is it's not that complex, right? It is, but it's something that when you dedicate 1 year, 2 years to, in the next few months, you can also, become a thought leader in that environment. I'm already getting questions, but I'm going to get to questions later. So I just, want to cover some of these things. Then, in terms of the next one is advanced connectivity. That is also key in terms of people are looking around. How can we begin to connect outside the internet? And one of the people pioneering that is um, the former CEO or founder of Twitter, that is X. He started something new around connectivity that is a bit advanced. You can communicate with people without even having internet, and so it is something that you want to build a startup around, or you have some ideas booming. I think is something you need to properly position yourself for. And then immersive technology also is something you need to look at. Web3, virtual realities, augmented realities. How can you use that to solve a lot of problems in the UK, for instance? Before now, I was trying to work on something also in this area with edtech education, stuff like that. But if it's something you have strength in, I think is worth looking at and also investing your time and resources in either building something around it or learning more and then positioning yourself for a lot of opportunities out there. And lastly, it's around hardware, semiconductors. That is another big deal. Every Most nations that are superpowers in this world, they don't joke with semiconductors because semiconductors are things that power a lot of gadgets we use today. And the more advanced your capability around semiconductors, the more advanced your technology will be. And that's why a lot of people are investing in it. And it is something that you find interesting or you want to invest in, I think is something um, worth investing. And if you can position yourself around these seven things I've mentioned, you become a sought after. And then even your global talent opportunities will be easy peasy, like my son will always say. Don't forget what I said. The UK are opening their doors for talent. If they feel like you have potential or you're already a leader in that field and you can prove it, they will easily open their doors for you. So I'll take questions in this regard before I move to talk around global talent. Any questions? But I hope we're finding the session helpful. If you are,
Oh,
can you?
okay.
Yeah.
We're looking at a situation. We want people to type in their questions
Yes.
into the chat
Okay.
section. So
Great.
we just take them all together because of the time
Awesome.
frame.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
I'll just go ahead to talk on the second part, which is around the global talent. Is that fine? Okay, so let me tell a bit of story about myself and how I got here. First of all, I'd like to say people that are global talents, they don't have to heads. They are just normal people doing amazing things. But one thing that sets them apart is that this set of people are not just doing amazing things, they are properly documenting them and they are properly doing what we call PR around the great things they're doing. A lot of people have been bound by the global talent digital technology route, which is endorsed by, which is managed. Let me use that word by Tech Nation. A lot of people have failed to meet their requirements because, as a country, Nigeria, where I come from, might, some people might not be from Nigeria actually. We have been wired to not blow our trumpet. So a lot of people have come to me to say, "Oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that." Oh, fantastic. The next question I would ask is, where can I find it? And you'll be shocked that Some people that have done amazing stuff. There's nothing, nowhere you can check to even see that what they are telling you is true. So for me, what really helped me while I was trying to put my documents together, 2022 to 2023, was the fact that from 2017, everything I did in my startup then and other things that I was involved in, I would always document them. And then some of them plan like a press release. And the funniest thing is that I was just doing those things based on, I just wanted to build my digital footprint. I didn't know about global talent. I didn't know about other opportunities. But I was just doing it because I wanted to build a name for myself and, of course, a name for the things, I founded. Little did I know that while I was ready to apply for the Global Talent 2023, I would need these things. And I will tell you that while I was applying, I didn't intentionally do any press release. I was just picking from some of the things I've had online, the trainings, the speaking engagements, the partnerships I had with, a lot of companies, Sterling Bank, some top companies. I'll do a press release. Some partnership I had in the UK then with some tech company. I'll do, that all of that and all. I didn't know that I was really doing the right thing, and eventually it paid off. So one thing I'm going to advise everyone looking to get this opportunity is that you need to get rid of the Nigerian factor of saying, don't loud your testimony, don't let people know you are doing this, don't let people know that what that what that has cost a lot of people is that it has deprived them of the great opportunities that they would have had, including the UK Global Talent and other global talent visa. Almost every country has a form of global talent visa. US has, Canada has. If today I'm tired of the UK, I can apply to the US EB1 visa. It's also like the global talent visa. And the same track record that I have, maybe probably I just need to update some of my latest work so that it doesn't look like I'm using old glory. I can, by God's grace, I believe I'll also still qualify because all of these opportunities they follow the same rule. They want to verify that what you are saying is actually true, and that's why they have a company, UK government has a company checking that. What they are just doing is fact check. If you say you have built a fintech company, you have done transaction of about 1 billion naira and all of that, fine, you have said it with your mouth, but they want to confirm if what you are saying is actually true. And that is when they will go online, check your profile, check all of those things, your recommendation letter, and what have you. What are they looking at? They are looking for third party source that is confirming what you are telling them. So, not to jump ahead of myself, I'm going to mention 7 things you need to do if you are trying to apply for the global talent visa, especially from the digital technology realm. So in my own case, I applied as a founder of an ed tech company and a founder of a digital media company. So I used both combination because while I was in Nigeria, I founded Sabitich, an edtech company, and I've also founded Progital, which is a digital media company. Then now it's more like a growth marketing company and a product development company, right? Of course, we've evolved, right? But while I was applying, it was still around digital media. And I also did that in addition to some of the work I've done outside my day to day, which is around STEM for kids. We've done a lot of STEAM conferences. One of such is STEAM Fest for kids, where one of the events we did at Landmark in Lagos, we had about 6,000, children attend. Big stuff. Those are some of the things I added. And like I said, some of these things are things we were just doing because we're passionate. We're doing them because we wanted to make impact, not knowing that some of our good works would eventually open doors for us. And it actually opens the doors because we also documented them and we had proof from pictures to letters to email we're exchanging to press releases. All of those things were the things we put together. Now, because of time, let me jump to the next thing. I'm already boring some people with the story of my life, but I just wanted to lay that foundation so that we can understand where I'm coming from. So, 7 things. Sorry, I didn't have the S. I was rushing to put the slide together. So, help me have it in your mind. Seven
No
things to
problem.
do when when preparing for the UK Global Talent application for digital technology. Now, let's talk a bit about the visa application itself. Now, when we are applying for the Global Talent visa, like we know, it is in two um, category. Let me say that. One is the exceptional talent. Number two is the exceptional promise. As the exceptional talent, they believe that you possess the quality of a leader in your field. So they believe you're already a leader in your field. And then the other one, which is the exceptional talent, is they believe you have potential, that you are a potential leader. In my own case, I got I was endorsed as the exceptional talent. I mean, talent, yeah, which is they believe I was already a leader. So you can call me a leader going forward. That's just on a lighter note, right? So if they believe you're a leader in your field, you'll be endorsed for the exceptional talent. And then if they believe you have potential, it will be, the exceptional promise. Now, if you have the exceptional talent, it means that after 3 years, you can file for your ILR. And then after your ILR in your 5th month, yeah, you can, of course, put in for your citizen. So in 5 years, you can actually go from being getting your being a green card holder, to being a citizen in it. And then for the exceptional promise, you can you have to do 5 years, you know, with your global talent visa, and then after 5 years, that's when you can put in for your ILR. So that's just the difference when you have been endorsed. Though. Yeah, every other thing is the same thing. You can work anywhere, but it is advised that you work within the digital technology sector so that when you are putting in for your ILR, it doesn't contradict that. But you said you want to come and have the UK economy in digital. technology, and sir, now you are doing healthcare, you are doing bread and butter business. So it's advisable you keep it within, the digital technology so that your ILR can be easy. I hope that's well understood. So the first thing you need to do out of the seven things I want to mention is that you must understand the eligibility criteria. You must understand it. And time will not permit me to list some of the eligibility criteria, but I would advise that you go to the Tech Nation website. Just type Tech Nation UK, and then when you go there, you see some of the um, eligibility criteria. Now, some of those things change from time to time. And one of the recent changes on their criteria is that when you graduate with distinction in your master's or first class in your undergraduate, you can use that as an evidence, which wasn't there before. So that's one of the developments. I mean, other things. So I wouldn't want to bog up because if I start with some of the criterias now, um, I would waste time. But as time goes on, I'll still mention some things that we need to be able to apply. But for the full criteria, please go to gov.uk or go directly to Tech Nation UK to read some of those things. And then if you have more question, in-depth question, you can reach out to me personally, or I'm going to send you at the end of this session. I'm going to show you a website you can go to just to read more, and then maybe to do a free assessment whether you are qualified now or you still need to do some more work. So number two, aside understanding the criteria, is you must craft a strong CV. So part of the things you need in applying for the Global Talent Visa Visa Technology route is your CV, and that CV is not like a regular work CV. It has to contain some compelling achievements or significant achievements that you have done in time past. You must show your leadership role, whether you're applying as a founder or as a technical applicant or as an employee. It must show some of those technical roles. Some of your contributions also would be listed on the CV, and you must also highlight some of your key projects, innovations, and some of the impact that you have made. So that is something you need. Number three is that you now need to write a persuasive personal statement. This personal statement is explaining yourself, how you got to where you are right now. It must include some of the skills you have. You must explain it there. How you have used those skills to make impact where you are or where you were. It must also include your future plans in the UK. That's where you talk about how your skills would be useful in the growth of the UK economy. In my own case, I made a lot of research. I even added how my skills we had, to UK achieving their goal for the next 2030 vision they have and all of that. So this is where you put all of those things, and it should be around 1,000 words, and then it should not be more than 3 pages. That's another mistake people make. All of these things are listed on the Tech Nation requirement. That's why I say you need to go and read the requirement. Um, yeah. So I hope I've covered this. That's your personal. So that's like the second document you need. Then the next is you now need to begin to gather your evidence. Um, Ideally, for you to apply for the global talent visa, you will need 10 evidences. But sometimes, if you have strong evidences, you might not submit all the 10 evidences. Some submit six, well, I think six is the minimum, between 6 to 10. But I would advise so that you won't take any chances. If you have the 10 piece of evidence, you can put it in. In my own case, in fact, I had enough evidence that at some point I was looking at making it maybe 12 evidences, but there was no room to add to because I was really desperate. I was, of course, already tired of Nigeria, so I wanted to move. So I was really ready to put all of that together. So if you have strong evidences, six might be enough, seven might be enough, eight might be enough. And if you have the 10, you have the time, you don't want to take chances, you can definitely put in those 10 evidences. And in terms of the evidences, it is categorized under two. We have mandatory criteria, and then we have the optional criteria. The mandatory criteria, you would need to provide four out of the 10 evidences will be mandatory. And then for the optional, it has to be two optional, which means that one optional criteria would have three evidence, maximum three, and then the second we also have maximum three. And then when you combine the mandatory, which is maximum four, and then the two optional criteria, which is maximum six, then it makes the 10 evidences. Time will not permit me to go through those evidences one after the other, but you can go to Tech Nation to see it's written there point blank. Next, which is number six, I believe. I hope I've not missed. I think I've missed the number. Sorry about that. So just assume this is four, and then this is number five. Um, is you need to quantify your impact. So aside you putting evidences that has to do with what you do around your work or your skills, your expertise. They also want to see the impact you have made outside your day to day. So they want to see the impact you have made in terms of numbers, in terms of, so you need to mention all of those things. How many people you have impacted, whether it's around mentorship or around events or around maybe an NGO, things like that. You need to list all of those things out. Revenue. In my own case, I listed how those 6,000 children paid maybe 3,000 or so per entry, and then I even did the dashboard, how many, all of those things they want to see. And that's why I said that in applying for a global talent, you just don't want to be the one saying you are this. Because what they are looking at is that if you say you have this, then there should be something that would buttress that point, or we show that, okay, indeed, other people are talking about. Because you can't be a leader in your field, or you have done something really impactful that it is only you that will be talking about it. There must be other people talking about. So what other people have said and what you have said, those are some of the things that will form your evidence. So impact is also key in your application. Because of time, let's take the next one, which means you must also show impact beyond organization. I've mentioned that one of the, I think maybe one or two of your evidences, you must mention some of the things you have done outside your day-to-day work, whether as a founder or as an employee. And that's why I would encourage people go into volunteer programs, volunteer to be a mentor, volunteer to be part of maybe an event or something, a training, STEM training, digital skill training, um, mentorship, speaking engagement, being a judge or a panelist, things like that boost your application because they believe that for you to be in a panel session of a top tech event, it means you're indeed a leader or a potential leader. Or they believe that if you are a mentor within maybe an accelerator or an incubator, they believe that that makes you a leader or a potential leader. Um, so it could be within the UK tech ecosystem, it could be outside UK, but they just want to know that yes, if indeed you are saying you're a leader in fintech, you're a leader in edtech, at least you must have spoken in a top event in edtech or fintech or whichever tech you find yourself. So I encourage people to seek a lot of speaking engagement, especially top one and physical one, not virtual. Virtual can work, but virtual does not carry weight. So when you attend those tech events as panelist or speaker, take picture. Sometimes you just need to dance to their tune and act to it. Give them as they want it. Take plenty pictures. How people are coming to you and then you are sharing ideas, how you are on the panel session. In fact, if you can get a shot that shows the crowd while you are speaking, yes, that is when they'll be impressed, with your application. And if you're applying as an exceptional talent, which was in my case, you need to show proof of awards. You must have received some awards, you must have received some recognition. In my own case, we were recognized by Lagos State. We got some awards and all of that. And generally, I put those things together and then here we are. And some of those things are things that you need to put together to have a fantastic um, application. Uh, time is really running. So I'm just going to stop here, right? And then quickly talk around for 6 to 12 months. If you want to apply for the Global Talent Visa, number one, you need to work on your digital footprint. And if you don't have your digital footprint sorted, the best time to start is now. And why I said it is now is when you do a new publication about yourself or as a thought leader somewhere, before you use that evidence, it will be another 6 months, which means if you are putting new evidence out today, the latest time or the earliest time you can use it will be the next 6 months. So if you are planning to put in your application in 12 months, you need to start working on your application now so that by the next 6 months, you are able to use them as evidences. So that's one of the things I would advise. Number two, get into top, organizations, non-for-profit as volunteer. That will help you because you can get reference letter. You can also contribute and use that on how you have contributed. If you are an employee, you need to begin to document some of your things, promotion letter, your um, letter of employment, your payslip, things like that. You need to put it together. Some of the screenshots of the dashboard, if you are saying you are part of the growth of a company and all of that, you need to show some records. Okay, in 2020, this was it. In 2024, this was it. This is where we are now. Things like that. You need to put that together. If you are a founder, you need to get an audited account because it's part of the things they will ask. If you don't have that, your account statements must be signed, your company registration to show that certificate to show that you are really the founder or part of the C executive there. You need to show that proof. You need to show the proof that of your business or your tech product in terms of downloads or number of users. All of those things are things that you need to put together. And then the part that I missed out in my slide is your recommendation letter. You will also need 3 recommendation letters to put in your application. So if you don't have those people now, you have 6 months or 12 months to build rapport with someone that you think can give you a recommendation letter. All right. So those people must be at their C executive level, managerial role in whichever organization um, they are. So you can't have your direct line manager except the person is in the C executive position. I'm talking about CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, any kind of C. You can think about because there are lots of C's these days. Very soon we'll see CZO. So yeah, I think I'll just pause here and then take questions so that I don't exceed the 8 p.m. mark. I hope you have learned one or two things from this call. If you are, give me some thumbs up or some emojis. Over,
Wow.
over to you.
Uh, Hello. Oh, Mr. Wale, thank you so much
Yes.
for your presentation. We really do appreciate it. It's nice how you took it from the very beginning and now and the exact place where you ended it. At least giving us perspective on how to go about it, and especially how we can contribute to the UK digital tech economy in the future as outlined by any government like a few months ago. So it's a wonderful thing that you've done. We really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for this talk, and you'd fully exhausted everything that we would like to know. So there are some questions in the chat that I would just read out, and you can answer as you please. So I'm going to start from well, I think the very last one I just came in on is I think Brashi might be able to answer this question if we can have the slides to your presentation to digest after this meeting. I think Brashi would answer that question. So one of the question from I think you actually did answer this question while we were talking, which is how much do speaking engagement and community building play in a global talent application process? And I do think you mentioned this. I think one of like 2 or 3 slides before 2 or 3 slides ago. So we at least we now know that it actually plays a lot in the application process. So everybody needs to tap into that. So and you did say that we should increase our digital footprint and get into volunteering roles in companies that are visible, preferably physical as much as we can. Then in those events, just engage with people and let there be proof. So another question is this: how can a master's graduate in business analytics from a uni in Aberdeen qualify for the Global Talent Digital Tech Visa? The person's project is on food calories from food images using computer vision and deep learning. What can the person do within the 1 year of post study to build their evidences, which will so that they can apply? So how can they tap into it? So that'll be the first question we'll be asking yourself.
Okay, great. What I'll advise is, first of all, get into a digital led organization. as a data analyst or a data scientist, because you can't apply as a standalone as just a master's graduate. It can't fly. It's either you have founded a company or you are working within a data led organization, or you are a technical person working within a top organization, which might not be a data led organization. So, first of all, you need to either start up something and grow it in the next 12 months, or get into an organization and then contribute to their growth. That is when you can use that as your, put it together for your application. So it can be single-handedly. The only route you can use, if maybe probably you're a doctor, you just finish your doctorate and all of that, and then you might not need to be in an organization, is the research, academic and research route, where that is, of course, before you get to the level of a doctorate, you must have done a lot of publications and stuff like that. So those are the things you now use as an example. But in the data technology route, it must be tied to an organization, a product, or an innovation. I hope that answers it. But as
Yeah.
a data analyst, of course, you qualify to apply if you have the right evidence.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. I hope that answers that person's question. So another question there says that how can someone in business analytics, data science, and the likes transition into this visa? Now, the person I asked this question, which I think would help them would help you answer it. It says, if you were in their shoes, how would you approach it? That if you were in their shoes as they work currently in business analytics and data science, how would you approach what would your approach be for the next 1 year? And their majors are business intelligence, machine learning, database engineering, and data visualization. So if you were in their shoes, how would you plan the next 6 months to 1 year such that this time next year they'll be able to apply for the visa?
Okay, great. So I want to assume the person works in an organization, right? But if you are currently not working anywhere and you are not building a product you are working on, that is the first step. But let me assume you are working within an organization. Let's assume it's a bank. Let's say Lloyd's Bank. You are working as a data data analysis or business intelligence, machine learning, and all of that. What I would advise is while you are doing that, you already have an evidence that you are working as a data analyst within the organization. Of course, you should have your employment letter, your pay slip, and all of that. That is sorted. What I can advise next is begin to build other evidences around outside your work, which is how do you position yourself as an expert in AI? Because, of course, AI and all of that has to do with data. Machine learning also is part of it and all of that. But how can you now tilt to not just segmenting yourself as a machine learning person, but positioning yourself as someone within the artificial intelligence field to get a lot of speaking engagement, get a lot of volunteer opportunities to train others, and then you can build your evidence, positioning yourself as an AI specialist, but also still working as a data analyst within that organization, and then couple with other things that you can use, to have a fantastic your digital footprints, writing a lot of things that can position you as a thought leader within your industry. You get what I mean? So those are some of the things that I can advise you in the next 1 year to be able to position so that your application can come through.
Thank you very much for that answer. So another question here says, is it preferable to have recommendations from UK-based companies, or can we have some from our home countries? So how much does recommendations from outside of the UK, are they very important, or should the recommendations be just strictly UK, or can you have a mixture of UK, Nigeria, or whatever our own country is? Or so that's the question, sir.
So it doesn't matter whether it's UK or Nigeria, but the recommendation letter would be from someone you have worked with or you are working with. You get what I mean? So if you have left Nigeria now in the last 5 years and you want to use recommendation of someone that is in Nigeria, so you need to explain how you are in the UK and then someone in Nigeria is saying is working with you or worked with you recently or things like that. So I have to be careful about it. Whether you're using Nigeria or UK, you must be as such that that person has worked with you and that person also is a reputable person within the digital technology sector. So it really doesn't matter. But in the recommendation letter, it also includes how that person have worked with you and how that person feels you are a best candidate to get the global talent endorsement. So it really doesn't location doesn't really matter. It's the person and then how both of you are connected.
Thank you very much, sir. So I want to ask a question based on that.
Yes.
So I remember in the early days of Global Talent Visa, when it first started, there used to be recommendation letters used to be from C-level or executive. And does that still stand, or could it be just
Yes,
like my coworker, my manager, who's not the
no,
C-level executive?
lie. So they will still go as far as telling you to that person writing a recommendation letter to you will send the CV or an up-to-date LinkedIn profile because they will still do a check on those writing you a recommended those three people because they must be credible people. And for your application to be taken seriously, then your recommendation letters must be from strong people. So they must be top executives, C-level.
Okay.
Nothing around that has changed yet.
Change. So, so this will be personal. So I currently work as a software developer, actually senior, and I'm considering applying for it. But in my organization, the way it's structured, the company itself it's fintech, but my team we have a product that we sell that is used internally, and also it's been sold to other fintech organizations. So my direct manager, so I do not have access to the actual C-level, but I do have access to like a director. So if I wanted to get a recommendation letter, first question to start with, does that count as a product-led organization? Because the umbrella body, it's fintech, but I work on a product that we use internally, and we also do sell to organizations. So does that count as product-led? And since I do not have access to the real C-level, does my direct up like the upper manager who is like a director of R&D, does that count as C-level, or I need to, in addition to other people that I need to get from, can I get from him?
Yeah, so unfortunately, it won't count as the C-level. So what our advice does for you is to write you a reference letter.
Okay.
But your recommendation letter might not necessarily be from the person from your organization. It could be someone else you have worked with. So what I would advise is if you don't have access to the C-level within your organization, just collect a reference letter from that person saying, just talking about how you're fantastic at your job and all of that. But your recommendation letters must be from top
C-level.
execs, from the digital led technology organization. Also, the rule has changed. Before, you must only be working within the digital-led organization. Now, as long as you can be a non-tech working within digital-led organization, you can apply, or you can be a technical applicant working not working within the digital-led organization. It will still fly.
Okay.
You get it. So let's assume you are not working with a fintech, you are working with a traditional bank. As long as you are a technical applicant, it still counts.
Okay. And also, I do know they say I'm not sure if it still stands. So you have to be like 5 years or so in your maybe within your career, or you should have if you have like more than 5 years, are you able to, or is there a way to apply?
So it has to be within the last 5 years.
Okay.
So anything above the last 5 years, doesn't count. They count it as a case. But that's when you are applying for the exceptional talent. If you're applying for the exceptional promise, you might not necessarily use the last 5 years. It's not even advised. You can use the last 3 years, the last 2 years.
Okay.
Fine. But
Okay.
anything outside the last 5 years, they see it as past glory. Let me use that word because we are Christians.
So if you have more than 5 years of work experience, can you pick a company from the last 3 years and base and say okay and start accounting from there? Your achievement in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's one nice question. One question that someone asked. So since this meeting started, we've been talking about how we can apply. So this person, so the question says like, can you tell us how not to apply for the global talent visa? So maybe like things that in case maybe you feel, oh, should I apply? Are there things that would, I don't know. So how can you tell us how not to apply for the global talent visa?
So
That's
first
the
of
question.
all, don't apply if you don't have strong recommendation letter. No matter even if your evidences are strong, your recommendation letter matter. So invest on getting strong people. In my own case, I got the cream de la cream to write my recommendation letters because I didn't want to take chances. So that is what you should do. Number two is that if you have not done anything outside your work that forms as impact, please don't apply because it will be bounced. It's a major part of the application. Number three is that if you know that your evidences are not correct, they are false, please don't apply because now they will not only block your application, they will ban you from the visa totally. So don't forge anything. Some people even go ahead to backdate press releases. Now they have how they track those things. So be genuine. If you want to apply in the next 6 months, start building now. So that if you want to apply in the next 12 months, start building now. So that you have 6 months for the evidences to marinate, and then you can use them. One of the failures, shortcomings also in application is that you are using other people's templates and it's not original. So that is also something you want to take note of. So I think those are just some of the things that you need to look out for.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you very much. I do not think we have any other question to ask. Okay, so yes, so a new question just came in. It says, what about people volunteering in charities using their tech skills?
Yeah, that counts. But of course, it's not just about the effort Your impact, we know you are making great impact, but can we see it somewhere? Do you have evidence around pictures, um, letters that letter of thanks or things like that, press releases that shows your name or picture during the project? Some of those things are things that are key and that really shows that yeah. So even if you are working in charge and all of that, are you properly positioning yourself in a way that all of these evidences carries your name, carries your picture? That is when it will count.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions, Brother Sheyi?
Yeah, I
No
don't.
question from my
No
side.
question. Thank you so much, Mr. Wale. And there's one person from Nigeria here. I hope he has asked his question. Lasisi Ojo. Lasisi, are you here? Because Lasisi is leading a data company back in Nigeria, what we call EdTech. He normally run Power BI for people back in Nigeria. I think he joined from Nigeria because of this. I don't know whether he has asked his question, but maybe if he's not here, he run this. Okay, he run this
I'm
data.
still,
Okay, have you asked your question, please? Yeah, over to you.
yes, sir. I said, please, among all this area of specialization, where does data analytics fall into?
It's artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
And then let me help you ask you, what can he do within the next 1 year? What can he do? He's back in Lagos. He run events, all of that. What can he do next 1 year back home?
Those your events, are they documented? Do you have them on Tech Cabal? Do you have them on checkpoints? Does it carry your name, pictures, and all of that? If not, start doing all of those things now. Also, your products, don't just do trainings and events. Have structure around it so that it's not just training, it's edtech. You get what I mean? Build something like a dashboard where people can register so that you have a form of it as a product where you can monitor number of users, people trained, how much they are paying. Just put structure into it so that it's you're applying as edtech and not just
I'll call you
training.
back.
Yeah. So that's what I can advise. Work with NGOs, train them, use that as impact. Work with state government, local government, use that as impact. And then yeah, it should be great. It should be good in the next 1 year, the application.
Okay. There are some people from Nigeria here, so that because since they joined from far away, Ifeoluwa Ajala, I think she's from Nigeria. I hope I'm not embarrassing her.
Ewumi raised her hand
Okay.
earlier. I don't know. She wants to ask anything.
Over to you, Mr. Charles. I think Mr. Wumi should be the last person, right? Abi? Mr. Charles. Brother Charles.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, sir. So, Sister Wumi, please, if you have questions, can you please raise up your hand and ask? No, sorry, just ask the question so that you can answer, so that you can get value from your time.
Yeah, thank you. It's still back on a recommendation. I know you mentioned that it has to be C-level and it can be from our home country. Is it a must that there must be somebody that you have worked with directly, or it can be somebody that knows you and the person is able to vouch for your credibility? Must it be somebody that you work directly under or in the organization?
Yeah, so not necessarily, but in knowing you must be as a result of your skills and expertise.
Mm.
So if someone wants to recommend you, I can't just recommend you and say, I know Sister Omi, she's my church member.
Not at
And
all.
because of that, because she carries fire, I want to recommend her for Global Talent Visa. No. It has to be that I know Sister Omi, we have worked on this project together. or I've mentored her on this project together. And she was able, based on that, she was able to achieve this and this and this. And because of this, and because of the way she has impacted me when we work together on this, I want to recommend her. So there has to be
a link, yeah.
a link, an exchange of value where you now impress the person. So that person is now recommending you. It's not really referee. There's a difference between reference and recommendation. Recommendation is to say, this person, I've worked with this person, it has this value and it's been beneficial to you. So there must be that link and that connection, work connection.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's clear.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Oh, Mr. Lasisi Ojo, I think your hand is raised. Do you still have any question?
Then also, Mr. Wale, you need to talk about Tech Nation Niger and your Cyber Labs before we round off.
No worries. Definitely.
Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for the training. I'm so much impressed. So my question is that as a data analytics trainer, which I also have my startup company, Upskill Digital Technologies. So I have two questions. First one, I have an account, right? Because you talk about audit the other time. So I have an account whereby people paid into the account, most especially the students. So I do a lot of digital skills. I train people. I offer services to companies. So currently, I'm even doing a training with EduFund Africa Initiative. So they are NGOs. So I train people on Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So now, whenever I'm doing my training, I have this logic whereby I send a Google form to the student to fill from their own hand to show how they have been impacted, which I'm going to receive the response directly at the back end. So can those things also serve as an evidence? That's my number one. So number two, most especially on the account section. So you said we need an account and maybe an auditor to audit the account statement. I believe those ones can also serve as an evidence. Or is there any maybe the revenue targets that you must meet before you can be qualified?
Okay, thank you. Valid question. Let me start from the last one. They are expecting environment. You have high threshold of revenue based on your location. So if you're applying from Nigeria, of course, something substantial. And if you're applying from the UK, also they expect something substantial in terms of revenue. Another thing is the question you ask is some of the feedback forms and things like that. Yeah, some of them could form as part of the evidence. Saying, okay, you did this training, so person attended, they paid this. These are some of the screenshots of the feedback. In my own case, I had to even screenshot some comments on social media and all of that, and then I added it up in my evidence. So that also flies because it shows that yes, indeed, you have added value. I hope that answers the question. I'm trying to keep my responses as short as possible so that we can get all that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Mr. Lasisi. Okay.
Mr. Lasisi, do you still have any question or is just that the hand is hanging?
No, I don't have much questions. So another thing is that I'm going to say is that, last time what actually discouraged me of applying was the amount to actually paid. You understand? So when I was trying to get, maybe I think there's one thing they call recommendation, right? So they started a certain amount of euro, I think 700 and something euro, so that need to be paid.
Who's,
You
who
understand?
said that? Who
I
is
check,
charging you that?
no, I
So
check
you
a
are
particular site, Global Talent. Yes. So I want to ask a question. Is there any a certain like I just need a validation because you have actually attempted it and you succeeded. So I need a validation. Is there any certain amount of money to pay for this particular application?
you mean to the UK government or the people helping or supporting you?
UK government, sir.
Okay, so your application, um, it comes in two stages. For the first stage, you pay some form of money. I think around, if I'm not mistaken, 700 and something. It has not changed. So if you want to apply for your endorsement first, you do like the first around, I think 500 and something pounds. And then when you are endorsed, you can now balance around 100 and something. So what you are just paying is the visa fee, but they break it into two because it's two process. You first get the endorsement before you apply for the visa. But eventually, if you sum up those amounts, it will sum the cost of the visa actually. So that is what you pay um, to the UK government at first. That's visa. Of course, the number of years you want on that visa will now determine the IHS fee. And then if you're also adding your dependent, you need to pay for their visa and then the IHS fee. So that's how the payment, structure work in terms of the application. But of course, for you to apply for the endorsement, you must pay a fee, and it's about around 500 and something pounds, I believe. But you can check all of that on the UK, um, uk.gov.org or something like that. Gov.uk, yeah, on the actual prices. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you
Okay,
so
so
much, Mr. Wale.
thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed the section. We're not taking it for granted having you at this time. We estimated 1 hour, but now we've
Yeah,
done 1 hour, 30 minutes. And we want to thank everyone that showed up for this program and also to inform you that you can access this recording on the Creed website or Creed YouTube platform. I think the link is on